In Las Vegas, Al Albert and the champ, Sean O'Grady. Big crowd on hand. Looking forward to the main event. Otis Grant against Willie Monroe for an NABF middleweight championship. And we will continue on our international theme here on the prelims. And let's go to the introductions in Chuck Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee assigned for the next bout of the evening is Mr. Mitch Halpern. The next bout of the night featuring 4 rounds of boxing in the cruiserweight division. Introducing in the red corner from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing in at 185 pounds with a professional record of 3 wins, 1 defeat, and 1 KO. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Kenny the Mighty Milligan. Yay! And in the blue corner from Tokyo in Japan, he weighed in at 184 pounds. His professional record consists 4 wins, no defeats, 4 KOs, the undefeated Yosukishan Nishijima.
I've already gone over the instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fighter wants to obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? All right, touch him up. Let's go. Touch gloves.
He is big news out of Japan. A matter of fact, a big fighter. One of the very biggest to ever come out of Japan, where they specialize in the lower weights. He is a phenomenon in his country. Several Japanese networks, 3 a matter of fact, are here in Las Vegas covering this fight. And Nishijima continues to grow. 184 pounds, which is 6 pounds heavier than his last fight when he scored an explosive knockout here in August over veteran Derek Edwards, knocking him through the ropes in this ring here in the Riviera.
Very nice looking young fighter, 20 years old. He is explosive, heavy-handed, and he's very fast.
Heavy-handed and light-footed, as we had pointed out the last time we saw him. Unique boxing shoes, or we should say slip-ons.
Yes, I have learned more about those shoes. They are called tabis, T-A-B-I.
Tell us more.
Ninjas use them in Japan. He said that when ladies dive for oysters in Japan, they use these to protect their feet. They're like a sock. They clip on from the back, and then they put tape around the ankle. Very interesting story. There is a pad on the bottom of it, but see, with those shoes, those tabis, you can dig your toes right into the mat. Unlike a boxing shoe, you have that leather sole that is between you and the mat.
Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Yep.
Nishijima looking to end it right there. Ken Milligan, the 26-year-old. Well, he's looking for the home run. Milligan comes in having won 3 of his first 4 fights as a pro. And he is keeping his distance from Nishijima.
Wisely keeping his distance and keeping that jab working. That is the most effective weapon in boxing. Nishijima describes himself as a boxer-puncher. Yeah, good power.
And you see his low arch, and because of that, he goes down.
Yeah,
as Milligan got him at the right spot at the right time.
From a clubbing right hand. Nice punch and a good time for Ken Milligan. Down goes Nishijima. Just off balance a bit. Been down a little bit too low.
It was more off balance than...
He's not really hurt. He's not really out on his feet.
The price to pay for these kind of tactics.
Maybe for those shoes.
Well, it's the crouching style.
Oh, sure. But he bent over just a little bit too far.
He said he's a nice guy. Just kind of bent over backwards. First round action. This is scheduled for 4. 4 fights, 4 knockouts for Nishijima, who did not have any amateur fights.
And a good left hook from Milligan.
Milligan's solid, 6 feet, 185 pounds, and he has a 3.5-inch reach advantage.
Yeah, and doing a good job using that. Look at the movement from him. A nice jab. He's landed some good right hands and some good left hooks. If he could put those together, he may put Nishijima down for good. Good left hook and comes back to the right hand. Ken Milligan physically is bigger, a pound heavier, 1 inch taller.
Looks much more big.
Planning of his feet.
So what what's your report card on the shoes of Nishijima? You said helps him dig into the mat. Is that the only pro? What's the con?
I still like them. I have not seen a con yet. They're like socks. You're boxing in socks, and I like them. The con may be that when you get your toe stepped on, it hurts worse than if you have a regular boxing shoe on. I like them.
Well, then how did the boxing shoe, generally worn worldwide in this sport, become so prevalent? And why aren't more using this?
Tradition. Boxers want to have those wraps. See the shoestrings on Ken Milligan's shoes? They want to have that support on their ankles. There's a lot of tension on that joint right there. You want to have as much support on that as you can. Well, the support on Nishijima's ankle is wrapped from the back. They put that shoe on and then they pull it together in the back.
So in other words, what you're telling me is in your comeback you would use these shoes.
Actually, I think I would put one shoe of Nishijima's on one foot and Milligan's on the other foot. That'd probably be the way to do it.
Meanwhile, Nishijima, undefeated in his first 4 fights, a sensation in Japan, really has his hands full in this one.
Oh yeah, this
against a very unheralded Ken Milligan.
Oh, this is a good fighter who has no respect at all for Nishijima. Milligan throws good, straight, solid punches, and this movement is giving Nishijima all kinds of fits. Not like Derek Edwards, who came right after Nishijima, tried to take control. This man, Ken Milligan, is winning his fights from the outside, picking his shots, keeping his chin down. Good, fundamental, basic boxer.
Straight shot by Milligan. Remember, Nishijima has tremendous power. His last fight ending it with one dramatic punch. 35 seconds left in the second round. Nishijima has been boxing only for a year and a half. No amateur fights. Trained for a whole year prior to his first professional fight, and now he goes down again. Ken does not seem to be hurt or phased, but he uses a lot of angles, and he's paying the price for that in this fight.
It looked as though he caught an uppercut, but right at the last minute tried to pull up and pull the power from it, but again went down, and that scored for Milligan. Well, the uppercut of Ken Milligan did the damage. Look at moving in as Nishijima, and see how he's pulling back away from this punch? Down he goes.
I think it's been more pulling away than actually been punched.
A little unusual. Perhaps Nishijima is just relying on the KO power.
Well, he may have to rely on that because on the point system, he has now been down in each of the first 2 rounds.
Plus, in my estimation, he's lost those rounds. He's way behind the 8 ball.
And it's scheduled only for 4.
I know in these short fights like this, it's terribly difficult to get going, get all your muscles and nerves working.
Well, he has moved here to train and to get fights in Japan. Actually, there's no one big enough even to spar with him. And now it's Nishijima turning it up and getting belted in return by Milligan. He used to be a high school shortstop, and he's going into that shortstop crouch incessantly in this fight. And this has become a crowd pleaser.
Oh yeah, and now he needs a home run as a hitter. He has backed himself into a corner.
Halfway through round number 3. Ken Milligan stealing the show from Yosuke-san Nishijima.
Well, they did not seem to be too concerned in the corner of Nishijima. They said their fight plan tonight was to take the heart away from Ken Milligan, to cut him off. And Ken Milligan has been the one who has had the bigger heart on the inside. He is the physically bigger of the two and the stronger man, able to muscle around.
Keeping with our
Nishijima.
nice job. Keeping in line with our baseball theme here. maybe they just think that Nishikune is the natural.